Hey y'all, it's Melissa back with Sincerely Creative Mom. This is part of our Valentine's Day triple kit. So the kit itself came with 3 projects. If you have got this far, but you haven't watched the video where we cut everything, please stop and go watch that video. It is here on our YouTube channel. Very, very important that you follow those instructions as far as cutting so that you can have the materials that you need for all 3 projects, okay? So we cut our mesh 18 inches long, different than what we normally do, 18 inches long. I told you which cuts that you should keep for the 10-inch frame, the 14-inch frame, and then what's left over for the sign extender. So this, as you can see, we have small, medium, and large. The large was the first 6 cuts that came off that roll of mesh, and we're using that for our 10-inch frame. The last 2 will be for the next 2, I shouldn't say last, but the next 2 will be used for our 14-inch frame. This will be on the outside 6 twist ties and the inside 6 twist ties. This is for the 14-inch frame. That's what's left, or that's what we have for that. So this video is for the 10-inch frame. Okay, it's for the 10-inch frame. If you haven't seen it already yet, here's the sign extender. Super duper cute. That video is there, ready to go. We have 18 inches. 18 inches. And we have 6 cuts, 18 inches. These were the first 6. The first 6 that come off that roll of mesh. All very, very important things if you want your designs to look as closely as possible to ours. So we have our red, white, and pink mesh, okay, 18 inches. Our super duper cute sign, which we again also talked about, adding the thingy to the back. Now I can't even think about it, but the thing to the back. And then, of course, our 4 ribbons for our bow. 4 ribbons for our bow. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4-inch, 2.5 inch, 1.5 inch, 1.5 inch. I'm going to set those aside for just a couple of moments here. And then we also have our 16 inch. 16 inches for the ribbon for our 10-inch frame. So all a little different. Make sure you're watching that video again before you get started. So 16 inches. Again, it was folded. You receive the ribbons just like this. Okay. Now don't cut. Don't cut the ribbons for the mesh. I'm sorry. Let me start over. Don't cut the ribbons for the bow. Don't cut those ribbons. Those are for the bow. Okay. Don't cut those 4 ribbons. Your ribbons for the tails will come folded. Okay. Folded just like this. It'll look just like this, but it'll be folded. If you find the fold and cut, you'll be in bad shape. If you find the fold and cut, you'll be in bad shape. You want them to be 16 inches, which means for this kit, you want to unfold. Now I'm just pretending this is your bow ribbon. This is your bow ribbon. So for this kit, you're going to cut 16 inches with your 3 ribbon tails. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Not this ribbon. This is for your bow. Okay? We're all together still? Okay? 16 inches, cut. 16 inches, cut. 16 inches, cut. I've done that all the way for us. Already for us. Excuse me. I've done that already for us. And so we're going to, is that the order? Yeah. We're going to put these together so it went a little bit quicker. I'm going to trust that you're not going to cut your bow ribbons. And I'm going to trust that you're going to cut these 16 inches for the 10-inch frame with the loads of love. Look at your supplies. What you got in front of you. Okay? All right. Here we go. We're going to add our pipe cleaners. We're going to add our pipe cleaners to the outside of this ring here. Outside. Right on I'm twisting these right on or near, now different than all the other ones, near the hole. I'm only adding one layer on this, and I'm just comfortable, confident with near the hole, or just not on the edge. Usually we're putting them on the edge. So this is right on the wood near the hole, outside 6 only. Outside 6 only. 2 for the what is that? Sign. 1 for the bow. Okay? Should have enough. Now I'm, of course, second guessing myself to make sure I did all the right numbers. Okay. We're going to not ruffle up the center. We're not going to ruffle up the center. We're going to ruffle just off to the side. So mostly we go right up the center. For this one, I'm going off to the side. Right, I'm going to follow this white line. And it's going to feel a little bit weird. It's going to feel a little different. If you've never done this before, it's just going to feel a little bit different. It's okay. I'm going to take the nice big part of my ruffle. Now you see why we wanted that first 6 cuts. Because we want it to be real pretty and expand. That's the word I'm always looking for. Expand. I always say take up real estate, but I'm looking for the word expand. I'm going to put that right down in there. Nice and tight. Crisscross, twist, twist. Now, it doesn't matter what this looks like, because you're not going to end up seeing it. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Okay? We're going to keep doing that all the way around. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Overlap those. Now remember, these were 18 inches. The mesh was cut 18 inches. Different than what we normally do. Normally I'm cutting these 20 inches, and we're using just any random, roll of mesh. In order to get our supplies for 3 projects from our triple kit, we had to cut them at 18 inches. Clearly, it works out just perfect. And 18 inches is plenty, okay? 18 inches on this particular design for the mesh, which also means our 14-inch frame was also cut at 14 inches. This is going to make our mesh kind of scrunched up like this, is making it so that we can take our 10-inch frame and make a bigger wreath. So it doesn't have to be just, let's say, 15 inches. This is going to be about 22 inches wide, which is definitely our goal. So when we come up with the Pancake Wreath frame, the bundle, and we started offering, offered the 10-inch with it, my customers are used to a certain size. The customers that I sell to are used to a certain size. So I knew going smaller, wasn't going to be a really good option. Going smaller in my design size wasn't an option. It wasn't what I wanted to do. Wasn't what I knew my customers were going to want to buy. And so I had to figure out a way to create on the 10-inch frame still being a decent size finished product. And this is just absolutely perfect. Still, again, we're about 22 inches. Oh, this is about 23 inches. No, let's say 22, because usually it's about 22, but this is about 23 inches. But still plenty of, design for what we got going on here. Okay? All right, so I'm going to take those and set that aside just for a second. Get that out of the way. My pipe cleaner's out of the way. Just don't want to lose that one. Move those. Okay. So now I have our ribbon. Now you see, it is not super like flat. It's kind of doing its own thing. It's got its own wave going on, right? It's real airy, nothing to it. We're just gonna add as much as we can. Now again, I've done some pretty big things on just the 10-inch frame, so you can, not in this kit per se, but you can do some amazing things on this 10-inch frame. All right, so remember we cut them 16 inches, 10-inch frame, 18-inch mesh, 16-inch ribbons. Okay, if you haven't seen the video yet on cutting, please go see that. All right, I layered them with the 2.5 on the top. I went with the 2.5 inch on the top, the solid pink, and then the black and white on the bottom. I wanted to see those hearts. I wanted that to be the star of my show. And so I'm just going to kind of go in there. I found the center, ruffle up, just like we always do. Put it right down in there. Nice and tight, super tight. Twist, 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 twist. I'm not going to fluff those out until I have all of them in. So bear with me. Pinch, 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 pinch. Out towards me. It goes in there. Comes out. Pinch, pinch, or twist, 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 twist. Now I'm not worried that you can still see the frame here. Totally not worried. We got a nice big bow going on there. And our sign, it's going to be, you're not going to see it. You won't see the frame at all. So if I put them in there and then I don't touch them, you're not going to see the other ribbons. So we definitely want to make sure that we are adjusting and fluffing those ribbons out. One thing you can see, doing the 16-inch brings those ribbons right out to the edge. Or almost out to the edge, which is nice because then you're not seeing a lot more of the mesh, but you are seeing the mesh, of course. Just like that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Last one, and I put the 2.5 on the top just because that was the ribbon that I wanted to really see the most. I didn't want that one to be covered up with the other two, especially since we had 2 other ribbons, not just one. And so I didn't want that one to be covered up, being on the bottom, just because it was the 2.5 inch. So I went with it on the top. We'll see how it looks. I think it's going to be, excuse me, I think it's going to be really nice. And I think it's going to be a good balance. All right, so I'm just cutting off the excess here. You notice I didn't pick these up and do this every single time. I put one in just because I'm trying to save on a couple minutes of time, a couple seconds. It all adds up when you're working all day. Okay, and then I'm just going to take these and kind of push them in and spread out all of our ribbons. It's good. There's 3 of them here, so it's going to kind of feel a little busy, and then we'll work it out at the end and make sure you can see them all. So again, I'm always going up and down, side to side, so that I can see all of those ribbons nice and fanned out here. Oopsie. So I can see them all, making sure I do that all the way around. So my black and white comes out, always goes to the right, then the pink goes over, and then the hearts, making sure I keep that pattern the same all the way around. And trying to make sure I keep them all coming out towards the edge. Now this is a little different design, so you know, they're not sitting as perfectly as they would or as they will or do with your 14-inch frame, because these are a little bit closer together than your 14-inch. Remember, it's just a smaller frame, and we're actually putting on, you know, a pretty significant amount of ribbons here. Just trying to make sure we can see them all as best as we possibly can. again, once the sign and the bow are both on, then we can go through and be a little more particular and place those ribbons exactly where we want them to go for our pictures. Y'all, if you're have this for yourself, I'm just going to be really honest. If you're planning on putting this on this particular piece on the door that you use all the time, these ribbons are going to move a lot. And for this particular design, for the 10-inch design, that's not my favorite. Okay, if I could, on the door that I use all the time, I might put the 14-inch or even the sign extender. This one needs a chance to just be by itself. The ribbons are a little bit longer. If I have, like, let's say I have a storm door and the main door, you know, that's not the door we use all the time, that would be absolutely perfect. Because these ribbons are a little bit longer. It does move a little bit better, a little more with that. With that said, you see here, right? It does move a little bit more. And we're gonna do our diligence to make sure that the sign goes up here to help those stay. The bow comes down here to help those stay. But if I had a preference, if I could say, put this one here, put this one here, put this one here, I will put this one where you're not going to be using it, moving it so much. Okay. So our sign, it's gonna be adorable. It's gonna be adorable. It is adorable. Okay, my sign's going to go here. Now remember, we didn't... Oh, let me make sure I change these. I was using the sign extender. Let me just make sure I get those staples out. Put those ones in. I'm just going to go ahead and cut these. Again, we talked about the zip tie mounts in the... in the cutting ribbon, in the cutting video. So make sure you watch that video. And then I'm just going to use, so the kit doesn't come with a staple gun, and I can't assume you have one. And so I'm going to do what I like the best, and that is use my staple gun and pipe cleaners. So I'm going to put them in a little bit further, so it's a little easier to add to my frame. If you put these on the outside, also totally fine, not bad at all. But it's a little easier, I think, when I have it in. If I'm using if I'm using these, it's easier to put my clamp on the outside and get it, so I'll use it that way. If not, I try to put them in a little bit. Put them in a little bit. All right. Also, my staple gun has been giving me lots of troubles. It does not like me at the moment. And so if I have to staple a couple times, please forgive me. I do have a new staple gun on order. So I'm just going to line that up. Now, the reason I'm using these pieces, my sign, 1/4 of an inch. Or almost 1/4 of an inch. My staple is 1/4 of an inch. So if I put my 1/4 inch staple just here, it's going to go right through the other side and it's going to pierce my sign. I don't want that. So I'm just adding my padding, really. And what I just cut off there was the back of, I'm going to do one more there. That didn't work either. There we go. Need it to go all the way in, and it was not doing that. One is sufficient if it goes all the way in. It's totally good. This is just the back of a ribbon spool. It's thick cardboard, and so I just cut off a couple pieces and add that as padding. All right, so now we have our sign ready to be attached, and I'm going to make sure I cover up 4 of those pipe cleaners. So I'm going to just place that right there while we make our bow. And we're going to start with our 4-inch ribbon on the bottom. Again, we did not cut these. 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 These are for our bow only. Okay? So I'm going to take our 4-inch our 4-inch ribbon, 4-inch. I'm going to fold it, cut on our fold. Now I love how we brought some red, black, and pink elements into this. I'm going to go with a 8-inch tail. So this is going to be just a little bit different. I'm going to go with an 8-inch tail on this one, 8-inch, and a 6-inch. 8-inch, 6.5. 8-inch, 6.5. So this is going to be just a mighty big ribbon in the bow. Mighty big ribbon in the bow. Okay. We get that all the way apart there, all the way apart, all the way apart. Twist, loop, pinch, twist. Now, 1 loop on each side, 1 tail on each side. That's just the way this bottom loop is going to go. Okay. Still a little bit long. I'll trim it once it gets in. Okay, perfect. Then we're going to go in with our black and white with the red. Okay, nope. So I'm gonna go, it's gonna be a little different kind of a bow, 7 inches, loop. So 6 inches on this loop, 7 inches on the first. Move this a little bit short. 7 inches on the first, on the tail, 6 inches on the loop. Now I know the first layer just had the 1 loop on each side, but we're going to do the normal 3 loop layers like I usually do. It's just a little bit different. It's just a little bit different. You'll see, it turns out cute. Okay. Then just stay with me. Just stay with me. Just stay with me. I'm going to come in with our pink. Hold on. Am I going to go with the pink next? Pink next. Red next. Pink next. I'm going to go with pink last. All right, I'm going to come with the red next. Same thing. Okay. Same 3 loops. 2 tails. 3 loops. 2 tails. Okay. It's a little different. Just make sure it's a little bit smaller. Pinch, twist, loop, pinch, twist, loop, pinch, and twist. Now my 2 loops go opposite of the other 2 loops. Perfect. Awesome. Love this. Totally love it. We have a teensy tiny little bit of leftovers. Nothing awesome, you know, nothing too much. We just got a little bit. Totally fine. Okay, the last one. Now, I am making the choice that this is probably the least quality of the ribbon, and I'm putting it on the top, but I want to bring that pink back up to the top, And I'm just going to do a little tiny loop there. A little tiny loop. And then I'm still going to do the 3 loops. Just a little layer on that top. Pinch, twist, loop. This one is a thin ribbon. It's a thin ribbon. So just be careful, work nicely, careful with it. Gentle. Okay, 2 loops were over here. 2 loops are going to be over here. Perfect. And I'm going to make sure I dovetail that end. Awesome. And then this goes down, this goes here, this goes up like that. That's going to go side to side. And we are in business. Okay? All right? So then, again, we have just a little tiny bit of leftovers with our bow. Try to keep as little leftover as possible with this design, or with this kit for sure. All right, if you like doing pipe cleaners, we got a pipe cleaner here for you. If you don't and you like doing zip ties, you can do that. Usually I do zip ties, but for the kit itself, we're going to make sure we're using what came in the kit as far as this. So then I'm just going to pinch that, put my fingers down in there, pinch it, pull it up, and then before I pull it all the way up, I just pinch it again. Nice and tight. Grab my pipe cleaner. It's okay that I'm squishing it. It's going to be fine. Nice and tight. Pinch, pinch, or twist, twist. And get this out of the way. Okay, so we're going to fluff. Just bring that right up to the top. I'm just going to hold on to it right there for a minute and make sure that my ribbons kind of get into place. Now I love that big 4-inch, but I didn't want it to come up to the top. Okay, like I didn't want the 4-inch to be coming straight up, right? So I didn't want it to cover our, what we got going on here. I just want to make sure all my layers, I can see all my layers. Super duper cute. And that pink on the top was absolutely a great choice. Love, love. The only thing is this is a little bit longer. It's driving me a little crazy. So let's fold that a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Now that is the perfect size. We'll probably cut this a little bit to go right in the top. I'm sorry, right on the bottom, and then this goes in the top. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, we'll do both things at the same time. That's going to go right there. Remember I said you wouldn't see that frame at all? We are going to make sure you don't see that frame at all. I'll come up a little bit higher with that. There we go, just like that. I'm going to go right in. It's a really cute bow. I'm going to go right in underneath here and take my pipe cleaner, put it in place. Put it right wherever you can find a spot that makes it make sense to where you want your piece to be. And because there's not a lot of layers of mesh in here, I'm just going to get this one kind of in place. It's not set, but I just got it in place. And then I'm going to put this one in so I can make sure I'm in the final end, have them exactly where I want to be. So what I'm using right now is I'm using the holes for the inside. You know how there's you know, holes for the inside twist ties that we did not use? I'm using those right now. It's like a perfect spot. It's like a perfect spot, so I'm using those. I'm going to tie that in tight, make sure that that's even across the board, just like that. See, I went right in there. That was perfect. I'm just going to tie our pipe cleaners together and then hide the rest. Pull that in here. See, make sure it looks the right way we do. Yes. So I just tacked it so that it wouldn't move. There we go. Okay. Very nice, very nice. All right, so then we're just gonna add in, that looks really cute. We're gonna add in our bow right here to the bottom. Is there a spot right there for me? There is. I'm gonna put it right down in there. Let's see, does that take up too much of the spot? It does. Let's move that down. Go here and here instead. Pulling that through nice and tight. Just snuggle snug. And then twisting. Twisting and hiding, twisting and hiding, twisting and hiding. There we go. And then, I know it's covering up the truck a little bit too much right this second. I'm just going to come up on top of it and adjust. So cute. I love that bow with the 4-inch. I'm going to cut it just a little bit shorter one more time. I love that bow with the 4-inch with just the one loop on each side. There we go. And the 2 big tails there at the bottom. Love that. And that's still a little bit too long up here. I cut this. And then, oh, yes, yes, yes. You know I say this a lot, but sometimes, you're designing and you're hoping that it looks, the way you want it to, or the way it comes out, like your vision. Sometimes sometimes I get nervous, right? Sometimes I get nervous. I'm like, well, was that a good choice or not? This is so cute. Okay, so the last thing I do is go around and then talk to all my ribbons, make sure they're in happy places, we're making good choices, we're not covering up our friends here, we're seeing everybody as much as we possibly can, it's staying balanced and you can see everything. Now again, this particular design isn't going to stay that way on the door. It just isn't. It just isn't. This It's a little bit longer. It's a little just longer, just a little different design. And so I just want to make sure that when it gets there, when it arrives, it looks, this is cute. This is cute. We're going to do our best to make sure that looks, oh, I love it. I love this. Is cute. The bow, it's the bow that really gets me on this one. It's the bow. Love that bow. It's so cute. Y'all, I hope you're subscribed, following, all those things. Again, those who are on our email list get our very first dibs for kits. If you're looking for all the links for us, you can find them in the comments. Our email list you can find at don'tmissemails.com. Real easy. No apostrophe on the T. Just don'tmissemails.com. Make sure you're signed up for those. Make sure you're subscribed here, following us and all those things so that you can see all of our videos in the future for all the holidays, all the things going on. I hope to inspire you to improve your creative skills, make your home beautiful. If you have a hobby or a creative outlet that you have been thinking about turning into your business, please let me be the inspiration to kind of nudge you over the edge for that one. This has been a great journey, and I'm so happy to be able to be here and to teach you. Please let us know if you have any questions. Again, this was the 10-inch frame in the triple kit. So we have the sign extender, oops, let me zoom you out here again a little bit. We have the sign extender, the 10-inch frame, and then of course there is the 14-inch frame wreath as well that came in the kit. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you again soon. Bye, y'all.